everyone. Welcome back to Nauticus, another one of these virtual adventures that we're doing. Today we're going to do a program that we do on the floor of our museum that's called water conservation. And we're going to talk about the different choices that we make on a daily basis that will result in water usage. Now, I don't just mean when you actually turn on your tap physically and water comes out, though we do make choices like that every day. I also mean that the items that we use and wear throughout our day and throughout our lives that we may want to be a little more mindful about. So to start out with, a really good example of a way that people are often already doing a little bit of water conservation is when they're brushing their teeth. So when you're brushing your teeth at home, you get your toothbrush ready, you may even turn on the tap and wet your toothbrush. Do you leave the water running while you're actually brushing? Now, most people turn the tap off and have the tap off while they're brushing, and then once they're ready to rinse their brush and spit, that's when they turn the water on. And that's really wonderful. That's a way that you're conserving water, because if you leave the tap running while you're brushing your teeth and not using it, you're actually using 2 gallons of water. And it's just going to go straight down the drain, right? So brushing your teeth is already one way that a lot of people conserve water. Another really great example of direct usage is when you're showering. Now, when you're showering, I know it feels wonderful to get under the hot water and kind of relax after a long day, or maybe in the morning to help wake you up. But for every minute that you're in the shower is 5 gallons of water that you're using. So, for a 5-minute shower, you're using how many gallons of water?
25
gallons of water. So we already have just 25 gallons with a 5-minute shower, and I know some people like their really long 20 to 30-minute showers. So even having a shorter shower is a way that you could reduce your usage. So that's a really great one right there. Another great thing to kind of be mindful of and to think about is when you're washing your dishes, because there's so many different ways to wash your dishes at home. And some of that depends on kind of actual appliances you have, like dishwashers. I don't have a dishwasher at home. They seem lovely. But we have a couple different choices even when we're just washing our dishes in the sink. So if you're washing your dishes by hand and you use something as simple as a sink stopper to be able to fill up your sink so you can actually scrub everything instead of just letting the water run continuously, you're going to save on water usage because if you use your sink stopper, you're just going to use 10 gallons of water, as opposed to if you don't have any stopper in your sink, if you're just letting the water run the entire time, you're going to use 30 gallons. So that's a lot of gallons that you're going to save just by having maybe a sink rinse bucket, if you have that. I have one in my sink at home, but it's just a bucket I put into my sink to fill up and kind of rinse and wash my dishes in there, as opposed to just letting the water run continuously. Your dishwasher is another one. It does save water to use a dishwasher compared to just letting the water run. It just uses 20 gallons of water, but right, that's if it doesn't matter how many dishes you have in your dishwasher when you run it, it's going to use 20 gallons of water. So being mindful and making sure that your dishwasher is full, that way you run less loads of dishes, is another way that you can conserve water and be a little more mindful. We're now going to move over to some of the things that we may use and wear. Right? So I actually have 2 different items of clothing here, a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. And they are pretty different, but these are both made of the same material, cotton. And cotton is actually a very water-intensive crop to grow. It takes a lot of water, a lot of resources to grow the cotton, and you may grow an entire field, but each kind of yield of cotton from each plant is actually quite small, because when you go to pick cotton, if you've ever seen someone do this, I've actually worked on a farm and grown cotton, but when you go to pick it, you're only getting about this much per flower that the cotton plant was able to produce. So you have to go through all of this cotton to make one pair of jeans. This is for a baby, obviously. For an adult, you're going to need a lot more cotton to cover our legs, but you know, for one pair of blue jeans, it's actually going to be 1,800 gallons of water, and for one t-shirt, it's 713 gallons of water. So that's a lot that went into the clothes that you're wearing, probably on a daily basis. So one way you can be a little more mindful with your clothing is to not just get rid of it, right? If you're buying new clothes all the time, you know, what do you do with your old clothes? Do you wear them until they're actually threadbare or have holes in them until you really need new clothes? Or if you grow out of them, maybe you can, instead of throwing them away, you can actually donate them, give them to someone in need. And when you go to buy your new clothes, does it have to be brand new from the store, or could you go to a thrift shop or a consignment shop, get hand-me-downs from your siblings, friends, and relatives? That way, that shirt that took 713 gallons to make is going to go a lot longer. It's going to have a much longer life and really get used instead of just going into the garbage, right? So we have our clothing, and then the last thing we want to talk about is our drinks. So I think this bottle of water is a really great example of how much water you can use to make a plastic bottle, because we're not just going to talk about the water in the bottle, we're actually going to talk about the water used to make the plastic. This water bottle took 185 gallons, 1.85 gallons to make this plastic bottle. So if you buy bottled water and then throw the bottle out all the time, you're actually using a lot more water than just the water that was inside the bottle. It took a lot to make this. Maybe you want to recycle the bottle, or even better, you can actually buy a water bottle yourself that you would then fill up with filtered water if you buy a filter for your tap, if that's what you prefer, or just fill up with tap water on a daily basis instead of buying these packs of bottled water. Even more than that is our can of soda. A 12-ounce can of soda like this one takes 18.5 gallons to make, because you have to make the can itself, which is actually aluminum, and then to make the beverage that goes inside is actually going to take a lot of water. So maybe not drinking as much soda, lessens your sugar intake as well. So it could be good in multiple ways, but if you replace this with maybe a glass of water, you'd really be reducing your water usage as well as your sugar intake. So these are just a couple different ways that you can kind of be mindful and keep track of your water usage. And we always encourage conservation of our natural resources like water here at Nauticus. Thank you for joining us here today. If you would like to learn a little bit more and do a really engaging activity where you keep track of your own water usage at home, please look down below, and we're going to have some worksheets that we've created so that you can kind of keep track and see how much water you use on a daily or weekly basis, and the different ways that you can maybe reduce that consumption. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.